Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and today we're going to be talking about the month of February, the February Blu-ray movie haul. And this one's a little bit of a lighter month because mainly everything in price is going way up. Natural gas prices, so utility bills, also gasoline for cars. Things are just starting to add up, and I need to save a little bit more money and be a little bit more budget conscious. So, don't know about you, but yeah, it's hitting harder. But regardless, I do want to share some of these movies that I picked up. I have seen a few of them. I have not seen them on 4K, nor have I seen them on disc, possibly. But I am excited to share them with you today. But anyway, before we jump into that, what have you been picking up and watching during the month of February? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, quick heads up, there is a couple of sales coming up, so there are going to be a few other Blu-ray haul videos coming up this month. Hint, hint, wink, wink, Criterion flash sale. So now let's jump into the month of February. All right, the first film is the one that I've been trying to pronounce correctly, but Titan, by Julia Ducournau. I cannot pronounce these things correctly, but regardless, this film has made the rounds. It won Cannes Film Festival, and it is a film that a few of my friends have been really interested in this production and kind of blown away by it. And from what I've heard, it is along the same kind of line as a Cronenberg type of film. Think like Crash or something along those lines, but I think it's more than that, of course, and it has its own unique voice, of course. But I don't know much about it besides the fact that there's a woman, there's a car, there's an impregnation going on from the car itself. It sounds visceral, but it also is going to probably be a film that is going to challenge me in a good way. And I think for people who have talked about this, they understand that as well. And for everyone who's seen this movie will understand that as well. So I'm very excited for this, but I don't know much about it, but I've seen the trailers, been wanting to watch it for a while. Glad that I picked it up on Blu-ray finally. It just has a really basic bonus feature here with the Film Festival Q&A with the director and the two actors right here. We have Vincent Linden and Agatha Roussel. So I know I'm mispronouncing all those things, but here we are. Titan. All right, next we're going to talk about a film that I have seen, and it's been a while since I've seen it, and I definitely wanted to upgrade this to 4K when I had the chance and the budget to do so. And I'm talking about Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. And there's so many more people in this film, of course. Matt Damon is Private Ryan. We barely see him. Tom Sizemore, Edward Burns, Vin Diesel is even in this film just for a little bit. But there are so many people in this film, and it is just such an iconic film. And I remember hearing a lot about it before I even watched it when I was growing up. And just from the sheer fact of the D-Day opening sequence of this film is just such a visceral experience. And I know that it was almost that legendary kind of telling where people who had been in this war, World War II, or who have seen combat, watched this film and had to leave, or they got sick, or they couldn't watch much of it because it was so realistic near the beginning. Obviously, it is a Hollywood film, so regardless of the realistic side of things, it is an iconic film, and it is a film that I really enjoy, and it's one that, like I said, I haven't seen in a while, but I'm glad to have it on 4K. I've heard really great things. I've heard really great things about the upgrade to 4K, and so I needed to do that. So it has a bunch of special features on the making of and different elements about it, introduction on the music and sound, etc. But I'm very excited to own this film on 4K. Another set of films that I finally picked up on 4K, and this was actually set out a couple years ago, but it went out of print in a way, so they re-released these, which I'm very excited about. And I'm talking about Sam Raimi's SpiderMan Trilogy. So I finally got the 4Ks of the Sam Raimi SpiderMan Trilogy with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. And the first two Spider-Man are almost perfect films. And I know a lot of people who are fans of those films and also who grew up with those films understand that. And it was really exciting to watch all the Spider-Man hype come back with Tom Holland's performance and this last film that just released back in last year, the end of last year. And very, very excited that they finally re-released this. It deserves to be released, but it is very bare bones. I don't like the packaging here because two of the discs are stacked together. That's the one thing I don't like necessarily. I don't like stacked discs, but I know it's economic for them. And it's not necessarily anything crazy with the special features, but I'm very happy to own this on 4K because I didn't own the third film, which is definitely more of a fun film than anything else. And I needed to upgrade these films and enjoy them in 4K because I've heard good things. All right, next we're going to move on to Kino Lorber, who actually are rumored to have a sale coming up soon too, but I was able to get these releases individually. I pre-ordered 2 of them back when they had a sale, but it took a while for it to get here. But the first film I want to talk about is one that I didn't pre-order. I just picked it up locally at a mom and pop store here in Springfield where I live. And I picked up 12 Angry Men. And this is the 1997 version. This is, I guess, 40 years after the original one that came out in 57. And this is actually directed by William Friedkin, which is amazing. And I've heard good things about this movie. I've heard it is a little bit more like a television film. But it has a great cast here. I'm going to go backwards. I'm William Peterson, Edward James Olmos, Mykelti Williamson, Hume Cronin, Jack Lemmon, which is great, Tony Danza, James Gandolfini, Dorian Harewood, Armin Mueller-Stahl, George C. Scott. We have Ozzie Davis, and we have Courtney B. Vance. But yes, very excited about this movie. I love the original so much. It's one of my favorite Criterions that I own. But I've heard really good things about this film. And people who had watched it back in the 90s. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting time and one that's going to hopefully move me. All right, next is a film by Yorgos Lanthimos, the Greek director who had did The Lobster and The Favorite, to name a few of films, Dogtooth. But I picked up Alps, which is one of his earlier films. I think this came out in 2011. Yep. And it is in Greek with English subtitles, but I'm very excited about this one. This is one of the earlier Yorgos films that has been talked about and had really good marks and good conversations about. So excited about this one, but like I said, I have nothing other than the fact that I know the director, and I've been wanting to watch other films that this director has made. So very excited to watch a Greek film by Yorgos Lanthimos. And last but certainly not least, I have seen this film. I actually have the Criterion. I think it's right over here somewhere. But I wanted to get this on 4K from Kino, and I picked up Some Like It Hot from Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, and Marilyn Monroe. Of course, we have Billy Wilder's classic film. It is just such a funny film. It's one of my favorite Billy Wilder films, and I've heard, once I started seeing the reviews of it, I'm like, I have to pick this one up. So I pre-ordered this one, and I definitely am very, very excited for this. So it has a bunch of special features, audio commentary from Joseph McBride, film historian, author of Billy Wilder, Dancing on the Edge, another commentary by Paul Diamond, who is the son of A.I.L. Diamond, and screenwriters Lowell Gons and Babalo Mandel, with interviews with Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. The making of Some Like It Hot, the legacy features that come with it. There is a nostalgic look-back documentary, Memories from the Sweet Sue's featurette, Virtual Hall of Memories featurette. Billy Wilder and Volkner Schlondorf discuss Some Like It Hot, tribute to I.A.L. Diamond, and the theatrical trailer. So very excited, stacked release. Great that Kino keeps putting out really fantastic 4Ks. So I'm very, very happy that Kino keeps continuing to do this, and I'm in full support of it. Next, I want to talk about a film that I watched back a couple years ago. I want to say it was 2019 is when this came out. I could be wrong, could be the year before. But I was very happy when I watched it. It's an A24 film, and it's just like this one right here. It is in this really special book, little plaid-looking thing. It is The Last Black Man in San Francisco, a film by Joe Talbot. So very excited about this. This feels great. It's like plaid, like one of those, I don't know, like a book, like a leather-bound book, but it just looks beautiful, and I'm very, very excited to have this. I had a little bit of extra money on PayPal, so I wanted to use that money to purchase this, and because I just love that Midsommar release right there so much. And there's that front cover, and there is the 4K disc. Luckily, these discs, if you order them from A24, the 4K or the Blu-ray are the same price. So obviously I'm going to get the 4K. And there's a table of contents right here, forward by Charles Burnett, words by Alicia Garza and Danny Glover, Mont's Notebook, and Oral History. So going through this, it's almost like this book right here is an introduction here. I'll show you some pictures as well when we get to it. There is the cast and crew, just kind of the credits. We have a lot of really fantastic things in this booklet itself. And this is actually kind of where we're talking about with the film essay and the foreword and the words by Danny Glover, of course, and some of the artwork in the film itself. Artwork from David Jones, which just looks phenomenal. This movie is very moving, and I quite enjoyed my theater experience when I watched this. I watched it in my local independent cinema theater here in Springfield, Missouri, the Moxie Cinema, which is a really fantastic nonprofit, and I would like someday to do something like it with my own collection, to be honest. But very, very excited to have this film. I haven't seen it since the theater, so it'll be interesting to see it on 4K. And like I said, I've been just really enjoying what A24 has been doing with, here's the oral history side of things. But yeah, you get the picture, and then there's the back right there. I love this presentation, and I will definitely buy, if they put out some of these awesome releases right like this, I'll probably be tempted to buy them depending on what the movie is. But very excited about it. Glad that A24 is putting these things out. And A24 packages their films very, very uniquely, and it's wonderful, actually. It's very careful and deliberate, and it come with some special features things too that I don't have off camera, but I love it, and I do recommend ordering from them if you have a little bit of extra money, which we don't really have right now, but you know, in hindsight, very worth it though. All right, next we are going to preview a little bit of this upcoming Criterion sale, but there was a sale happening locally at my local Entertain Mart / Vintage Stock, and I needed a buy two get one free sale, and so I got one of these for free, and it was around $20 each. So it's more or less like the sale that's about to come up, right? So I did pick up 3 Criterions, and then I have a singular release that I got from Amazon as well. So let's just talk about the first 3. So the first one, this one is a little bit beat up, I will say, this used copy, but the disc is fine, and so is the booklet inside. But I got Lars von Trier Breaking the Waves, and I'm very excited about this. This is one of the films that I have been told to watch from Lars von Trier. I have seen The Antichrist, and I want to say a few other. I've seen, let's see, I'm like literally blanking. Kirsten Dunst is in it, and I'm blanking. I'm going to put it right here. I know exactly what it is. Melancholia. I got it already before I even put it. But Breaking the Waves, I've heard this is a good release, and before Lars von Trier went a little bit nuts. He maybe he's always been nuts, but I wanted to watch this film, and I got it for a good deal. Next is a film by Robert Altman, and a few years ago, maybe it was probably last year, I went on a Robert Altman kick, and I was just really excited to watch a lot of Robert Altman films, from McCabe and Mrs. Miller to MASH, etc. But I picked up 3 Women from Robert Altman. This is spy number 230. I don't think I mentioned spy number 705 was Breaking the Waves. But this one is from 1977 and is a film that I think that Arrow Video put it out as well. I want to say, don't quote me, but I've been eyeing this one for a while, and this is definitely one of the Robert Altman films that is worthy of the collection, of course. And so I didn't have it, and I got it for a good price, so I'm very excited to check this film out when I'm in the mood for some Altman. And next is a film from 2015, and I have seen this movie. It is a Polish film. It's a really bizarre film. It's a horror film. It's a fantasy film. It's a musical. It's a drama, romance. It's The Lure. And this cover is nuts, but it might be not safe for work or even for the camera. But it is a great film. I really was kind of blown away by it. I watched it on the Criterion channel early on. This is one of the first films that I watched when the channel got released and announced, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a really weird movie, but I just haven't picked it up physically, and now I have it, and I got one of these for free, and I was very happy about that. So The Lure, check it out if you haven't seen it. It's bizarre, but so crazy. I loved it. And then the last film that I picked up is one that I got on Amazon, and is a Martin Scorsese picture, and also is on Netflix. I watched it back when it came out, but I decided to finally pick it up, and I'm talking about The Irishman right here with De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, right? The legendary actors who have all worked with Scorsese in the past, and is very much in the veins of a Goodfellas or The Departed, something that Scorsese and these characters would do together. But The Irishman I enjoyed, and I really enjoyed the performances, of course. There are some silly performances like De Niro fighting in a grocery store, right? We all know about this, but it's a long film. I think it's over 4 hours long or around that time. But it has a bunch of extra features that I'm really, really excited about, and I love Scorsese, as many of you do as well. So I had to pick this up physically finally, and I was able to get it. So those are the films that I picked up for the month of February. I know there's an upcoming Criterion sale, a Kino sale, etc. There's some other things going on. Save up some money though, I will admit. Just because I'm showing you what I've picked up doesn't mean I'm like, go buy some things right now. But put this on your wish list, right? Or your cart if you are interested in any of these films. But I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.